What is up, everyone? I top 8'd the largest Pokemon TCG Masters event to date in Pittsburgh Regionals with 1,779 Masters players showing up, even with the cancellations and delays and everything. This happened to be the largest Pokemon TCG Masters event, eclipsing NAIC, which was, just a few months ago, which was the biggest event ever. So I showed up to the event and I played Lugia. Now, for those of you who know me, I was pretty outspoken about how I think Lugia is a very high roll casino. Not really the most consistent deck in the world. But going into the event, I had just come off of Worlds where I played Gardevoir, and it didn't go really well, great for me. I had to work really hard for my wins, and it felt like I didn't have any great matchups across the board. I didn't have a matchup where I sat down and I was like, all right, cool, Guardy's going to win this. Everything was a grind. Everything was a fight. So coming back from Japan last Monday, I was still recovering. I had a lot of life stuff going on, so I didn't really have the time to reset going into Pokemon mode. So that being said, heading up on the drive, I was thinking, I think Mew is really good. Mew just won Worlds, yes, but I think the deck has been very powerful for a little bit. I think this is where it's gonna shine. I think people will still continue to disrespect it. There's 1,800 people. Mew is gonna kind of just win me games that other decks don't. And then I get here and I'm thinking about the matchup spreads. I'm thinking about everything. And I'm just you know what? I think it's Lugia. I think Lugia has the best matchup spread. People aren't playing Sinnoh. People aren't teching for it, preparing for it. I think it's Lugia. I think Lugia is the play for this tournament. So I talked to Reagan. I talked to the gang. We sleeve up. Reagan wants to play Urshifu. And some of the gang wants to play Third Iono and Stone Journer like Mustafa. And I basically go back to my hotel because everyone was really split apart. And I'm sitting there debating the changes. I'm debating Stone Journer gives you a better Miraidon matchup because if you actually have all your energies and you can layer the knockouts properly, the Stone Journer should win you the matchup because you go two. They take two, you take two. They take two. You take two with your Stone Journer with no 2-prizer in play. And they have to take the stone with a gift on it probably, which then gives you access to just go into T-Tar and win the game that way. So you just can always win the prize trade regardless if they knock out something turn one. So it is something that is really good, but Urshifu doesn't do that because if they just boss Urshifu early, you just lose the game. Or if you mess the evolution, you just lose the game because Miraidon one-shots it, Raichu one-shots it. There's so many ways for them to just outrace you. And so Urshifu is just bad for that, but Urshifu is better in Mirror, and Urshifu is better against Pika. So I get to the room and I'm just chilling for 30 minutes. I'm just talking to people, just kind of figuring out where my head's at. And I just say, you know what, I think it's Stone Iono. I message that to Reagan and I go to bed. Reagan wakes up and goes, all right, let's do it. Same 60. Let's ride. And I was like, cool. Same 60. Let's ride. So we're jumping into my tournament. By the way, if you guys like competitive content, please like and subscribe. That would mean a lot for me. That's all you got to do to help out the channel. Nothing else. Just helps out a ton. And also a lot of people came up this weekend and said that my videos help them get into competitive, or my videos are something they enjoy, and that was really cool. I really appreciate all of you. Sorry I didn't seem nearly as enthusiastic as I normally do. I've just been so exhausted since I got back. I don't know what's wrong with me, but maybe a week of good sleep will probably fix that. So yeah, the list is pretty stock standard. It's legitimately probably same 58 that everyone is playing, unironically. Penny made its way over the second stadium slot because we expected Kyogre. We wanted to have a good matchup in Kyogre, which it did win the regional, so we weren't wrong. And I think Penny bails you out in a lot of situations where Luminion has to hit the board and you can just pick it up if you get lucky. Okay, so here is my tournament run. A lot of rounds. We're going to go through one by one. So if you guys, I just wanted to listen. Peace out. Thanks for coming. But we're going to jump in and go each round by round. You guys are going to get to go through the tournament with me, whatever I did in the vlog or whatever we're going to talk about here. So round one, I go up against Nick. Game one, it's Guardy. So game one pretty much goes swimmingly in my favor. Nick doesn't really get much going. I kind of just steamroll Nick. Game two, I make a pretty egregious misplay by summoning Starring under my own Collapsed and only putting one Archeops out because that's what I have to do now. I summoning start already. And I was like, oh, I messed up. And then I had a turn where I had T-Tar. I throw T-Tar to the active, and I have Boss in hand to bring up his Guardy EX and try to win that way. Where I got kill the Guardy this turn. You have to put another Guardian to play next turn, and then I win. Because he had 3 energies on I was like a reversal on a baby guardy, but that was it. No acceleration. I was like, oh my god, I can win this, and I just didn't boss. I just didn't boss. So I was like, what am I doing? And then game 3, I'm already at 3 prizes. I'm just attacking, and like Nick's board is like just 3 curlias and nothing else. But because of how close we were to time, Nick was able to take it to time, and we ended up tying because he's just not going to evolve in anything, and I just can't take 3 prizes in 2 turns. So first round is a tie. Should have been a loss in my opinion. Like I did not deserve anything. Like I just should have been like I should be like put in like 7 years of prison for like how I played that game. It was just embarrassing. Like I was just so upset with myself, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Like, is my head even? Like I literally like thought to myself at that moment, like, is my head even in it? Like, why am I even here if I'm like gonna play like this? Like I should just drive the 3.5 hours home right now and save myself the embarrassment of going like 4-4-1 or something. I don't know. I was just like really down on myself. Round 2, I hit Cameron Bonds, who's playing Lugia Mirror. Game 1, I go first. I kind of just get the turn 1 knockout. I kill Lugia. He hits into my Lugia with his Lugia. I boss the T-Tar and pop it, so I'm up 4 prizes now. And I have a T-Tar on my bench, and he just concedes. Game 2, he attacks into my... He takes a Lugia knockout with his Lugia. I boss the T-Tar. On my turn to take my first knockout, I take a T-Tar knockout. He goes T-Tar to T-Tar. And then I T-Tar back his T-Tar, and the game ends because he can't beat through my T-Tar. And I don't have a Lumini on board or anything. I just... Yeah, so I just win. Which is crazy because Lugia Mirror is wild. It's just a crapshoot of a matchup, and so I win that. Then I go into Liam Halliburton, who's playing Bennett Control. I open Serena and Luminian. I have to bench Luminian game 1, so I basically end up getting Infestation Lock to lose the game at the very end because I do get the penny off, but I'm 1 prize short of winning. Just because of the nature of me not having jet energy, I think that I could have played a little bit better to not put myself in that situation. But yeah, but that was like the only game where I felt like I needed jet, I think, because I just played really bad. No, not just that game. There was like a couple games in like day 2 where I just like mismanaged energies, and I was like, man, if I had jet, I just like, and it was in my hand, I wouldn't be in the situation. But yeah, and then game 2, I end up just like cragging 6 times, and I win the game against Liam because the deck just kind of loses to that. And then game 3, I take 4 prizes, 4 prizes pretty confidently, and then I think I prized 1 energy, which ends up costing me because Liam bosses up my Arc Gaps 1 turn, and the turn he does that, if I get to retreat and boss his Bennett or Guardy X on the bench, I win the game. But because I prized that last energy, I wasn't able to. But Liam's deck doesn't really win games very quickly, so we just sat there draw passing for like 5 minutes, and that took us to time. So we ended up tying. I'll take a tie there. Definitely don't think I should have won that. I don't think I played it great, but also like control is weird, and I just don't understand. Like Liam is like a great player. Like he just plays whatever he wants, and he does well with it usually. So I'm sitting there, I don't know what's in that deck. I don't know what's going to happen to me. Then I go against Alexander Rodriguez in round 4, and he's playing Lost Tina. Game 1, he opens Cram Pass. I just donk it. Game 2, he goes Sableye, bench Tina, attach Scratch, basically. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not good. And he's like, not good at all. And so then I go turn 2, boss. Turn 2, I just kill the active, bump the path. No, I already bumped path. Just kill the active. And he throws up the Tina, attaches, benches like 2 Comfies, or benches Comfy Nest Ball. Benches Comfy. No, he choruses, gets Comfy Nest Ball. And then, but the other like 2 cards he gets rid of are like energies, and I'm like, oh my. And then he attaches in like Abyss Seekings, and then I just, he like switch cards or something, does that, but the T-Tar's in the active now, so I just bring up the Tina, I pop the Tina, he has no Tina in play now, and then I crag 1 Comfy, and then he just concedes, because there's like not even a point in playing anymore. So 2-2 now. I go up against Art Terciera. He's a Pokedad from Florida that I've known for quite a while. Isaac and his Isaac, the family, like everyone, I'm very familiar with from my days back in Florida. So Art's playing Carlos Lugia. We end up playing just like a Lugia Mirror set where I end up taking it because I got to go first, which isn't really indicative. But Carlos Lugia has a little bit of a worse matchup, I think, in a single strike Lugia because you don't have that big one-shotter. Like your Snorlax goes in and hits, and I get to penny up a guy if I need to that you hit into. And I have Stonejourner to match your Snorlaxes. And yeah, so it's just like the Warrior is the one thing you have to worry about towards the end of the game, and that's basically it. Round 6, I go up against Aaron Santos, who's also playing Lugia Mirror. Game 1, I get to go first, but I get put in a really weird position where if I don't Archeops the 1 Archeops, I'm basically just now losing line for the rest of the game because he already has 2 Archeops in the discard. I know he has he preemptively gets the guy and puts it in his hand. the VSTAR. So I'm like, okay, I have to do this. So I go into one Archeops and knock out his Lugia. He bosses, kills my Archeops, and then I don't concede immediately because I have a Lugia set up and I can start setting up a T-Tar. And so I attach the T-Tar and hit into Lugia, and then he on his turn he Ionos, and then he plays Aroma, and I'm just looking at his hand and I'm like, hey Aaron, you have 6 in hand, and he's like, I should, because I played Iono to 5, and then I get 1 card off the Aroma, and I'm like, no, but Aroma says you go down 1 card and then you get 1 card back, and he's like, you're right, and so we call a judge, he hits DPL, and then he was allowed to change his Aroma, which was heads originally, so he had Lugia, which then became tails, which he needed, and then he gets T-Tar, puts it into play, and then blows up my Lugia, and I'm like, oh, this is not good, and then I throw up like something random to just like take a hit. I think it was like Yveltal, and then I draw, and I attach DTE. I have double DTE in hand, so I attach DTE to Lugia V, and then he bosses my T-Tar and blows it up. And then I attach another DTE, evolve to VSTAR, boss the Lumineon on his bench, and I win the game. So I get kind of bailed out there for sure by the DPL, but obviously just don't draw 6 off 5, off Ion to 5. It's just how it is. It wasn't even like an immediate. I was literally like sitting there. I was like, wait, you just have an extra card. And then game 2, Aaron gets the first knockout with T-Tar onto my Lugia. He commits like the 4 energy, whatever, like knockout onto Lugia. Mills like a DT, I think, and then he does the same thing. He pulls up my T-Tar, does the same thing, 4 energy, KO. No, he kills Lugia V, I think, with the first attack, and then Lugia V-Star with the second time, and then I T-Tar him, and I Iono in the same turn, and I knock it out. And then I realized that he milled 2 V-Guards in the process, so now he's down like a ton of energy. He like obviously had to retreat the Lugia, so he's down like a DTE, 2 V-Guards, and 4 single strikes. So he has all 3 gifts, and then so throws up Archeops, accelerates the gift and the DTE, and attacks into me. And then I retreat the Tina into a Lugia V-Star, like a fresh Lugia V-Star that I just built up. One shot the active Archeops. I give him cards at this point, which I'm like fine with. He just has to not hit Earn. And I think 1 Earn was gone already. And then all 3 V-Guards were gone actually. So now he has 2 gifts and 4 things or whatever. And then he like throws up the T-Tar with a gift. Draws like confidently. And I'm like, oh, he's just gonna earn boss and I've lost the game. Or he's just gonna he has to have earned boss, but I think he was down 2 boss also. And he does a bunch of stuff and then just passes. And I'm like, oh no, yeah. He passed that turn, and then I had 3 prizes. I just straight up boss Archeops, pop it, and then I'm like, I just cannot lose the game, and the game is just over. So I'm now 4-0-2 off the back of 3 Lugia mirrors, I guess, being my 3 of my 4 wins, which is crazy. Then I go up against Greg, who is playing Urshifu. He puts me in a really tough bind game 1, where he puts me in a spot where like I can't really win because I prize Serena, but also like after they take the first 4 prizes, punching through Lugias is really hard. So that's basically what happens, and I end up winning off the back of that. He ends up benching an Italian V at the very end, which gives me a boss target to just win the game off of 200 damage. But I also had to earn Ultra Ball in hand, so I could just go earn back to 2, Ultra Ball for T-Tar, retreat, and then just blow up something with a boss, which I had everything in hand for, because he procs gift, and I had like an 8-card hand, which that's the problem with the matchup, I think. And then game 2, unfortunately for Greg, he attaches to Lumineon, passes. I draw, I do my whole turn. He goes attach to Lumineon, pass, and I just knocked it out with Lugia. So painless, I guess. But unfortunate for Greg. Now round 8, I'm now on Winnenden. I have 2 chances to move on to day 2. At the very least, I should be guaranteed points, which obviously is not what I want, but at the very bare minimum, it's a good feeling. Round 8, I go against Victor, who's playing Lugia Mir. Game 1, he ends up going first. I basically get the boss boss T-Tar knockout first, and then he hits into me with his T-Tar, and then I T-Tar him back, and then I win the game basically because he just can't respond to my T-Tar again. So bailed out there. Game 2, I just turbo brick, lose. Game 3, he gets the first V-Star off because I suck, but then I end up getting into a position where I own him like 1, and I blow up his attacker, which doesn't have gift on it, and he just whiffs like Earn for game basically. Like Earn wins him game like every single time, and I think he had all 3 Earns. And so he like throws up like Stone Journer, which I don't even think was the right promoter or something, and then he just like loses, which was really nice. I got lucky there for sure. Puts me in Day 2. Now I'm 6-0-2. Stress is off a little bit. I've been playing terribly. I think have been getting bailed out, honestly, by the deck, the power of the deck. Not so much by play, which, some days you're just not playing your best. Some days you just play terribly. So I go against Chris Pagan. He's a second regional, super nice guy. We're just chatting. Absolute treat to play against. But he's playing Arc Pika. He offers the ID when we sit down, but I'm just like, hey, I explained to him where it's like, I think the ID doesn't do anything for us. Obviously, I'm mistaken now that I was the only one to bubble in at 35, but I just did the math completely wrong, I guess. And he's like, okay. And then we play. Game 1, he breaks. I just donk him, and basically the game ends. Game 2, he gets Arc, double Pika into play, and I basically can't do anything because he's got a Leafy Poncho on 1, and he just kind of steamrolls me. And Game 3, he paths me and does kind of the same thing, gets turn 1 Trinity Charge, and I just can't really play the game because I'm stuck on a path. My hand is pretty non-conducive to playing the game, and I just pretty much get blown out of the water. So 6-1-2, couldn't really do much in that matchup. I think a summoning started when he was at 1 prize remaining, so not really the best indicative of what's going on. Round 10, I go against Michael Davidson. So, okay, I go home now, 6-1-2. I go back to my hotel. I'm getting some rest. I'm very tired. Sleep is important. And I'm like, okay, I think I have to win a lot of games tomorrow. Maybe I can do it. I'm not even thinking about top 8 at this point. I'm literally just upset with myself at how poorly I played throughout the day. I'm just kind of like, dude, I just can't make those mistakes tomorrow. I just can't play like that. That was embarrassing, honestly, how I played today. I was just more please tomorrow, Rahul, just wake up and don't play bad. Just play Pokemon that you've practiced, play the Pokemon that you have worked on so hard, and if the wins come, they come. I would rather lose games that I play poorly than win games, or lose games that I play really well than win games that I played poorly. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm very hard on myself as a person, so yeah. And then I go round 10 into Michael Davidson, aged up senior, guy's really good, super nice kid. I love talking to Michael. Game 1, I'm pretty much in a position where I need to pull the urn out of my prizes to basically win the game, because I'm out of attackers. Yikes. And so this is one of the games where I probably could have played better, for sure as well. And I don't take the urn, and urn is my last prize, and I'm like, God damn it. And so his play is just to go Guardy EX, knock out my active, and then make it so I just don't have any attackers left for the game. If I have an urn, I win anyway. If I don't, he wins. And then he doesn't say anything. We're not announcing attactions because we just know each other. Where it's sometimes you just play and just don't say a word. And some people are like that. And Michael just ends up he just takes a prize. And I was like, and I assumed he attacked. And I was like, so you attacked? And I was like, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? And I said, no. I said, what are you doing? And he said, what? And I was like, he's like, I attacked. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You don't have energies on your active. So Michael just straight up forgets the Psychic Embrace, gets the DPL. I get bailed out by that. Huge. And then game 2, I end up boss killing the Guardy EX. And he uses a Rod early and Sinnoh early. So those are both gone. And then the game continues and he just never gets anything going. And he flips over his last 3 prizes and Rod and Guardy EX are in there. So he just never had a chance to win that game because of the prizes. So I get bailed out once again. And now I'm in 1-0 on the day. So 7-1-2. I go against Noah Hannerland. And both games pretty much come down to the Lugia mirror where I just go boss his T-Tar first. He kills my T-Tar. And then I Lugia boss the Luminian, putting my own Luminian in play, which I don't care about. And then they have to commit the 4 energies to kill me, but then I can go T-Tar the following turn because they have to use T-Tar if they want to do that. And if they go into Lugia boss my Luminian, then I can go into the T-Tar play, and I win the game. So basically did that. They had to boss their Luminian for prizes 3-4 to kind of keep the tempo the way it's supposed to go. If you go first or second, I don't care. But yeah, I end up winning both mirror matches. I go 2-0 there against Noah, just kind of a product of me finding my bosses and stuff. And I think game 2, we also prized 2 single strike energies, which really ends up dooming him on a turn where he could take a crucial knockout on my T-Tar because he discarded 1 early, an energy, and he said he had the other one in his hand, so he couldn't even make a big play to return T-Tar. Round 12, I go against Hunter. Game 1, I end up getting donked. I go Lugia V-Guard, and I don't realize he plays Town Store Choice Belt, so he basically just gets through all the pieces and gets there, and Choice Belt donks me basically. And then game 2, I donk him. He just goes effectively cram pass, and I just kill him. And then game 3 is an actual barn burner because game 3, I go Lugia on bench, attach pass with the Stone Journer active, and he whiffs the rope KO, which is insane. I'm like, oh my god, thank God. And he's like, I was just one one energy away from getting there. But in the process, he lost zones 2 psychics and a lightning. So I'm like, okay, I'm in a really good spot if this game continues. And the game continues. And there's like a position where he bosses my Archeops. Oh, but okay, so I have to use Pokestop to like stay in the game. Basically, I'm like, I need to find a second Lugia, like please. And I'm like, there's not that many bad discards in my deck. It's fine. I hit DTE gift, and I'm like, holy, I am so cooked. So now it's like an energy conservation game, and I have exactly one V-Guard remaining in my entire deck, and I have two energies on. I have like 2 single strikes and a V-Guard on T-Tar, and I have 2 energies on a Lugia for retreat. So he brings up my Archeops, and he basically like takes that out. And I have to Crag. I Iono Crag to take out Sableye. And I have 3 prizes, and 2 single strikes are prized. I literally need to pull a single strike so I can just boss the Raikou or boss the Dragonite, and I win the game. And I Crag like, I think an important piece, and he's like, it just can't be that. And then he plays the rest of his turn, and he's like, he goes into Cram and just spits because he like whiffs by a little bit. And I count everything on him. He has 1 gate, 1 rod left. Like he literally is holding all the last couple pieces to just Dragonite me for game. But he can't like do it with boss. But obviously I retreat, I lose because I just don't have any resources. So I have to do it. But then luckily for me, I took the prize anyway. So I just go attach boss, kill Raikou for game. So I got super lucky there, I think, as well. I definitely think I played it well to put myself in that position by just like passing a bunch of turns using Serena to offset his damage. Fully well knowing that if Serena got bossed, I'd probably lose the game. If he just bosses Serena and just passes. But his one boss was already gone. So I could comfortably put down Serena. And if he plays the second boss in Lost Box, like, I just lose. Like, whatever. Like, you got me, dude. Like, good job. Round 13 is Rebus. It's Lugia, Mirror, once again. Game 1, I win. Game 2, Johnny wins. Game 3, I get to go first. I get the early lead, and it's just same old, like, story of the matchup. Johnny actually helps me out like crazy in game 3 because my hand was not amazing, but he puts down a Tower of Darkness in which I'm able to discard like my Yveltal and draw 2, and I think I hit like Aroma Ultra Ball or something, and I was like, oh, perfect. And I get the Aroma Ultra Ball to get VSTAR out, and like that's kind of where my game began. But if that doesn't happen, I probably am in a position where I have to research my hand away. I guess I see those cards anyway because I see the Ultra Ball Aroma, but it's a little bit scarier. So now I'm going to win it in. Or win an ID, I guess. Win ID, I'm in, kind of thing, which is a really great position to be in. Hit Adam Reinhardt. Adam, super nice guy, great guy. I think long time coming for him. I think he's been consistently performing with Rhydon. I know this is his deck. I've seen him a ton of cups. Game 1, it's a back and forth, but the stone comes into play. Everything goes according to plan for me, and I beat Adam. Like, I think the way the matchup is supposed to go. Game 2, I open Lugia, attach, pass. Get donked. Reasonable. I'm going second. You do that, you're asking for it from Raikou. Game 3, I open T-Tar, attach V-Guard, pass. And my hand was like just 4 energies, research, and a collapsed, I think. So I collapsed him too, but like it just doesn't matter. And then he ends up getting the Zapdos into play. He generators, hits 1, puts it on Raichu, I think. He does a bunch of stuff. Arven's gets the Seal Stone, generators again, hits 1. Third, I think it was third generator, hits 2, but at that point it just doesn't matter. He opens Zero Aura, so he already has a free retreat. So 230 game. Like, can't be too mad about that. Just I got double donked. Like, it is what it is. Like, I just lose the game. Not a great matchup anyway. So now I'm on a win and probably top 16. Rowan and I are talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I think 135 makes it. Yeah. So game 1, I just end up beating Rowan because he whiffs a boss, or like a reversal, on a crucial turn to bring up Yveltal. Game 2, he just gets me because he gets super far ahead and I can't do anything. And then game 3, I don't Archeops, so like turn 3. So I go attach to T-Tar, pass. Attach to get Lugia, pass. He does his turn. I only have 1 chops. I Iono. I attach DT from my hand. Iono. Don't find a way to get into second chops. I evolve into V-Star. Crag knock out his Mew. He throws up a Ralts, sets up his Curlias. Like, his 3 Curlias in play now. Obviously looking for like a Candy Guardy play, whatever. Misses. And he just passes with that active. Or he benches Zacian and roars. I think it was. I draw. No chops is still. Attach the V-Guard. I think I researched the hand. Drew my 7. No chops again. Or no way to put chops in discard. And then I just Crag again. Knock out the Ralts, mill top 2. Mills were important. I got 2 bosses off the first and second mills, which was really, really important, I think. Because now if he has to pal pad for them, or he just loses. And then he goes Zacian, Sinnoh, knock out my active with Zacian. And then I go throw up Lugia, draw, Aroma, Tails, which was good. Goza, Heads, just pull a T-Tar out, I think. Because he was always prized. And then I go T-Tar, Luminion, Burnett the 2, earn the energies back into the deck. Accelerate the 2 to Lugia, accelerate 2 to T-Tar, attach from hand, discard Stadium, knock out Zacian. I'm down to 2. I have 5 cards in hand. He gets the Guardy up. He's like looking at me for a second. He's just looking. Because if he takes his knockout, he's down to 2 as well. So just a boss will win him the game. And I mean, he had like a 15 card hand at this point. I'm sure like finding pal pad just wins it for him. We're just like he's like looking at me, and he's like, "Do you have it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I do, maybe I don't." Because all I need is boss now to win, and he knows that effectively as well. And then he just goes, "You don't have it. I'm gonna knock you out." I didn't have it. I didn't have shit in my hand. He knocks me out. I draw my 2. It's like just 2 complete dead cards. I throw up Archeops because I have the acceleration as well, and I have an energy in hand to retreat. I draw for turn, and it's just the Ultra Ball. I slam the Ultra Ball, get the Luminion, get the boss, and I just do everything, and I win the game. But I did have a Goza in hand and an Aroma, so I did have 2 chances to get there. That being said, I don't like relying on those coin flips, so thank God I didn't have to come to that. I won. I was one of the last tables done. And as soon as I got up, everyone's like, I think it's you. And I'm like, okay, like I need a second to like breathe. And so like I run to the bathroom. I'm just chilling for a second. And then I hear, Rahul, Reddy, please come to the hive. I get there. I hand him my deck. And then I'm like, Christopher, is it me? And he's like, it's you. Go over to Andy, give them your accomplishments. We're going to put final standings up in like a minute. And I was like, maybe it was a close thing. No, I had like 10% on top of Isaiah. So like everyone knew it was me for sure as soon as the final standings were up. So I have to resleeve because my sleeves are pretty dinged up from 15 rounds of play. So I go ahead and resleeve. They're telling me I'm going up on stream. I'm like, oh God, I'm up against Jesse. He's going to absolutely destroy me. People told me that like he plays Path. So I was like really worried about Path. And I guess the Pika was something that was on the forefront of my mind. So I go into the matchup. Game 1, I think I played it pretty poorly. I could have just attacked. The turn I retreated with Lugia, I could have just attacked that turn and set up the stone. And if he bosses stone, he doesn't want to do that. So he has to kill Lugia anyway. And then I go Iono, kill with stone, and then I have T-Tar to win the game the following turn. But I ran out of energies. Like, I was 1 DT short of winning, which obviously if I didn't prize it, I just win. But it happens because I just forgot about Bravery Charm in game 1. So I got absolutely instantly punished because like I just thought like Lugia would be able to take the knockout on Raikou later. And I just totally forgot the Bravery, like Charm of Bravery or whatever it is. Like I was like, oh my God, I just can't believe I forgot about that card. And then game 2, there was like legitimately nothing I could do. I think Jesse had like the most perfect opener that he could have asked for. And I just like sat there floundering, especially with Stone being prized. It's just, I think, really hard to win from that position. Because like, even if you want to win from that position, like you need this Stone to even execute your game plan. And I did not. He was prized, unfortunately. So my run came to an end in top 8, but I did top 8 the largest Pokemon tournament in history. Definitely got bailed out a lot by the deck. I like don't know if I deserve this top 8, but it's another notch in my accolade cap, I guess. And I appreciate everyone who supported me, despite my terrible play and despite, yeah. So appreciate you guys. I'm up 100 points at $3,000. Pretty crazy. All things being said, thank you. This video is a little bit long. I didn't mean to talk as long as I did, but yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys on the next video.